Welcome to 3R Sports, where it always starts with 2 R's and the third one shows up. Big week in sports, biggest week of the year. Matter of fact, Robbie, there's no bigger week than draft week, are they?
No, there's not. The build up to it was really, really fun. And we'll get more into what actually happened on draft day. But another successful one in the books for most of us. Some had some rough weekends. Some of us had some questionable drafts. We'll dig into it.
Well, are you labeling yourself as a questionable draft?
I'll just put it this way. I've had worse ones.
All right. While we're waiting on Raj to join us tonight, we've got the old school guru of fantasy football. First comments up. I mean, this is blowing up from GF. Questionable. LOL. All right. Welcome from the home office in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
John Bruner.
Greetings from Omaha.
Greetings from Omaha. John, the floor is you. You said you wanted
Thanks for joining us, John.
Yeah. Raj and Robbie, are you on here too?
Just
Raj
Robbie
is
right
not
now.
on here. It's just
Okay.
me, Robbie, on here.
All right. Well, hey, guys, I thank you for agreeing to have me on again. My son Dallas was reading responses someplace after our last conversation, and I don't know, some troll was saying something about me being intoxicated or something. And on your podcast, and to any troll that would be around here, I'm old, I'm disabled, and a hell of a lot smarter than you are.
Well, John, let me just go ahead and tell you that being intoxicated on this podcast is actually encouraged, correct?
Yeah, I was gonna say they can leave the intoxication to me. I can do that.
Yeah.
Well, see, I know you guys are my type of guys, so.
They're definitely. Hold on. We're getting your other victim in here. Welcome.
Technical difficulties, per usual. My apologies. What's up,
Welcome
dudes?
in from Central Indian Time, Raj Mehta.
My apologies. No disrespect, John. Good to hear from you.
All right, Raj. So John's about to lay the truth on the draft down to all of us. Can you all hear him?
Did you give him the I can't think because I'm sober today. I'm not drinking. The precursor that half of us, 99% of us, were not sober.
I think
I think he can tell that.
That's
All right, cool.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good there.
Yeah. Yeah.
so. John, let's start with Rob and Raj's draft. How did you like Robbie's and Raj's drafts?
Oh, fuck.
Well, I'm going to start with each manager's draft.
All of us.
All of you.
All right.
And I'm going to start with number 12.
Number 12.
And
It'd be
I'm
Brandon
gonna work
Chain.
my way up. Now,
that would be Mr. Dave Hicks, correct?
Huh?
Chain.
No, it's Chain.
Chain, Mr. Brandon Chain.
No, not at 12.
Who was?
Oh, I thought you said you were starting at 12.
Raj is at 12.
Oh, you rated it, Rob.
Right off. Mic drop off the bat. I love it.
Raj, what were you thinking, man? You had 5 or 6 good picks out of your whole draft, and 2 of them was your defense and your kicker. You should seriously consider hiring somebody to make your picks for you in the future. You pay somebody to let you play. My goodness.
Hey.
League can make better than you, so.
John,
My
what if I
gosh.
What if I told you in the 4 years I've been in the league, I've been in the championship 3 times and the playoffs once. No, championship 2 times and then championship semifinal twice.
I think it would say that he don't think much of them are league.
No.
Hey,
I agree.
No.
John, to make it even better, John, he has since dropped that kicker and picked a new kicker. So one of his few good picks he has dropped.
I haven't even signed on.
Wonderful.
Okay, let's move on to 11.
I didn't drop him. Whoa.
Oh,
when do I get a chance to not look like a dildo?
After he talks.
After you're done? All right. Thanks, John.
John's old. He needs to go to bed, so we're trying to get this all out.
Yeah.
Damn. That hurt.
Number 11 is Robbie. Why do you take good players in the first or second round and then pick like you picked from or study from a comic book? My goodness, your first running backs are, Lions, but nothing.
Robbie ahead of me. Oh my God.
I promise we did not plan on us to be 11 and 12.
Robbie,
Dude, I'm going to put some money on this.
leave the good players for the people that can play them and make points. That's all where you're going to make your points. The rest of your draft, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
I'm Billy Beaning that stuff.
All right. We've got Raj, we're going to let you off the hook. Man, we set you up.
Oh, you did? Oh, damn. Oh, shit.
You'll start
was
waking
like-
up on time.
Ah,
Now.
damn, that's not cool. Dude, I was like looking at all my pictures.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is cool. Yeah.
Oh my!
Well, you
I was looking at all my
yourself up.
picks, going like, wait, should I have taken that? What? No. What did I? I'm screwed. I questioned
All right.
my own existence. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
All right, let's get. I think Robbie's may have been the real one though. I'm not sure.
I would hope so.
Well, both of them ain't great.
Damn.
But the next worst one is Chris.
Well,
What a dumbass. I hope somebody's going to put some money in his account or something. Now, should he just render all of his picks back to the league? I do this, so it's like, no, he ought to just forget this season. So.
T-Off just said Raj just living his own life. All right, John.
I did,
somebody
dude.
else to roast.
Oh,
All right, number 9. 9. All right.
Did y'all expect to get this when we did this? Because I knew it was coming.
All right. 9th worst is going to be Dave.
Dave! Is it
With the
something?
first pick.
his quarterback stink.
Who is his quarterback?
Kyler Murray.
Laying the hell down here. Boom, boom, boom.
He got Kyler Murray in the 4th round. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyler Murray? Every time I see him throw the ball, it hits the receiver's feet or goes 6 feet over his head. So,
Not a big Kyler Murray fan, I take it.
no.
All right. Who's next?
Dave, I think Dave's 3 first picks are pretty good, but then he must have fell asleep or something. I don't know.
Possible.
John,
I hope he paid his dues, because otherwise he's going to have to be hot-footing it out of the county. So
there's some truth to that. And picks 4 through about 8, probably you ought to just judge with a little temperance.
Yeah, but I go deep. I go deep into the offensive lines. I even go into the defenses that would give the offense back the ball.
All right.
So
who's pick 8?
after that is Jackson. Be quiet. Pick 8 is Blake.
Blake boy. That's Robbie's best friend, by the way.
Whoa. Acquaintance at best.
Hey,
He's won a few times, man. Somehow.
4-time league champion.
I understand. And he can obviously pick good wide receivers. But what site or book was he looking at ranking his quarterbacks? You know, you got to have a top 10 quarterback, not a top 20-plus quarterback.
Agreed.
To win the league. So
Baker and Daniel Jones are his QBs for the reference, and he got that John's referencing, and he got Baker in the 11th round. Yeah.
Terrible picks. Terrible.
Usual for Blake.
All right, John. All right, we have 6 people make the playoffs, so we're getting the playoff rounds here. Who is the 7th player?
I like Jeff at 7.
Jeff's online with us. Jeff, he rates you 7th, just out of the playoffs. What do you think about that? John,
Are you asking Jeff or me?
No, you go ahead, John. I'm seeing if I can get reaction out of Jeff.
Well, his first and second picks are money. After that, my grandson probably could have picked better than what you've done. Stafford is your quarterback? Oh my goodness. You've got to be kidding me. You're betting your season on Stafford? Cam Akers can't play? No.
Hey, y'all, can we fly
you're
John
not
to the
gonna
draft
win
next
the
year?
Huh?
I think we need to fly you to the draft and just let you be in a commentary at every pick.
Live
Yeah.
draft. Cast.
Jeff cannot maneuver the NFC West with Stafford. There is no way.
Now, he's got
It's
2
not
running backs, though.
That's what he said. First 2 picks.
Yeah, we're in a PPR league. Who cares about running backs?
He'll get like 3,000 yards this year, so if he's got a chance. So,
All right. Who is the first team in the playoffs, John?
Allen. I like his team. I didn't really see much wrong with his overall draft. A couple of his guys I really wanted. So
Who's that, John?
If he picks right, he will be very competitive.
You're talking about in free agency?
Huh?
In free agency, if he manages during the year?
No, I'm talking about a week-to-week pick.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, if he week-to-week picks very good, he will have a very strong team. He can't count on Swift, and because just Detroit is terrible.
Yep.
He needs to keep looking for wide receivers, and
I've got a bunch of those.
you know,
Yeah, well,
maybe
there's-
look to Hamler or Valdez-Scantling.
there's a
And
Robbie's got wide receivers to trade.
yeah, but he doesn't have any good ones.
Uh,
No,
Hey.
he doesn't have any good ones.
who gets
Randall, real quick, John said that he liked 2 players on Allen's team, or players that he would like to pick. Who were those 2 players, John?
Lamb and Andrews.
Excellent.
I've had
Absolutely
those
agree.
guys a couple times, but yeah, I think Lamb is going to have an amazing year, and I think Andrews will bounce back, and he will be what Jackson needs, because his wide receivers still are not very good. So
So I'll just
I mean,
remind
Hollywood's okay, but he's not great.
remind y'all, me and my pink monster still haven't heard my name, so
Well,
obviously
you're coming up next at number 5.
no, okay.
As usual, Randall, you always pick great throughout. Your first 7 picks were artful. I mean, they're fantastic.
I like what
And
you're
I
saying.
know you're going to keep an eye on wide receivers, because you are the wide receiver master.
Yep.
So, and your bench is good. I just don't see a win.
Ouch. So what you're saying is you see me as a semifinals player at best.
I see you, getting knocked out in the first round, I guess.
Robbie, you can Robbie Davis is now. Nobody speak for a minute.
Yeah.
You want to compliment
It's
him on that
very
one?
possible.
Yeah, that is just showing his expertise. This is why we brought him on, to not only call the playoffs, but call when you're going to lose in the playoffs.
All right. Who is up at number 4?
Number 4, I could barely figure out his name on his team, but it's Clipper Clay.
Clipper Clay. Clipper
He's
Clay just lost.
obviously, hey, this guy has obviously put in, shut up, Jackson, put in a lot of time into study. His roster, top to bottom, very good. Sorry about Dobbins, but, hey, I wanted him too, so.
Yeah, he did have J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, without many injuries, he should be up in that area. I like his team extremely well.
Hey, real quick, John, I thought that Kamara, most of you are Tennessee dudes, so Kamara always goes super high. But with those 2 quarterbacks, I just figured he'd get keyed on a lot. And, he's got a few miles on him now. What are your thoughts on Alvin Kamara?
If Justin Winston plays, Kamara will be fine. If Hill is in there,
He'll be dead.
don't even play Kamara on those weeks. I had him last year, and the 2 or 3 weeks that Hill played, Kamara got 6, 7, 8 points.
Right.
Every week. He stunk as far as fantasy value. Every other week, when Breeze was in there, or even Bridgewater, he did great.
All right, John.
Kamara's a great player. He's hard to tackle. He's fast. He's a very good player. But with Hill, he stinks.
You have a big audience waiting for your top 3.
They're coming.
Who do you have at number 3?
I got Stewart. He's got really the rest or second half of my team that I drafted, especially like with Russell Wilson, Clyde, and Gordon. He should have a good shot, at this season. His bench is top notch. I know.
He took 3 quarterbacks, though, John. He took Russell Wilson, Jameis, and then he took Tua in the second to last pick. So he's got 3 quarterbacks. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
One thing you can depend on Stewart. He'll mess it up during the year. So I don't think he's a threat.
But watch out though, because he got Jonathan Taylor, and I know for months me and Randall have both been talking about Jonathan Taylor.
So my first 2 picks, on a serious note, in your draft the next day. By the way, for all the members of our league, I had to draft the next morning with John. I hate you all. You all suck. You killed me. I was hurting. I had a horrible draft, but I took Jonathan Taylor and Tyreek Hill 1-2.
Yep. And so you saved yourself for at least a little while because you keep track of everything and you can get guys off your team that don't deserve and guys on your team that do deserve.
All right, John. Who is the first member of the Jimmy James League, sponsored by RiverCity-Media, championship final?
All right. I got Lenny at number 2.
2-time defending champion.
No, his draft was so similar to mine. If his picks and my picks don't line up, I mean, something's wrong here. In all the years that I've played fantasy football, I've only won 4 or 5 years. And I know Lenny's won a lot. But I get a whole lot of seconds. And that's where I see Lenny this year. Maybe breakthrough for both of us. But I understand he's got a few wins. So.
All right, John.
I got a question. Can I question John before that on Lenny? I thought it was interesting that he didn't get a running back until the 5th round, and that's a guy like Kareem Hunt, who shares carries, obviously, and then Mike Davis after that. So I know it's a PPR. I always try to get backs that catch a ton of balls. What do you think about his running backs, and can he – I mean, obviously you think he'll be second or in the championship game, but what are your thoughts on his running backs?
I love Hunt because I'm not sure that Chubb will be able to take it all the way. He's missed 2 or 3 games every year, and Hunt is going to tear it up this year. He is absolutely going to go 8. And Hubbard is good in the backside. worried about Lenny at all.
You would be one person in life that's not worried about Lenny, and you'd be the only one. So let's move on to
let's move on.
who will be the Jimmy James, sponsored by River-City-Media, champion.
That'll be Kane.
James.
Where?
Yeah.
What happened to me?
Kane is the man. I predict a championship in his near future. His selection of pound for pound was epic. I think pound for pound will have 2,500 total scrimmage yards this year. I wanted him so badly, but Gibson was a great running mate, and Robinson. I get every year except this year. Thanks a lot, Randall. Appreciate that. But
I remember him in your league. Let me see if I can.
oh yeah, you took him in the third round, damn it. I like that Chain's got a bunch of Bears. They're going to fight back this year. The Bears are coming. And I do have to tell y'all, I will be rooting for Randall, though, to win this thing. But I don't see it.
Am I really 12?
Well, you got kind of took out. We kind of made you.
But
If you showed up on time, you got a real rating.
so, John, I want to ask you just a quick question before we let you go.
Go
Now you
ahead.
have Lenny at number 2, who goes heavy wide out, waits for a running backs late. You got Chain number 1, heavy running backs with Tannehill as quarterback. I've kind of got a combination of both of those. If Tannehill lights it up, then it is A.J. Brown, Julio that's gotten there. And then my running backs, they're going to have some good or bad games, but I'm very much PPR heavy. And I think Joe Burrow's going to be throwing a lot. And so I don't know why I'm ranked at so far back.
Well, it's just the rest of your team. It just stunk. I mean, you got good starters, I guess, but no. I'm going with Chain, and then Lenny in number 2.
Hey,
So,
John,
enough.
what do you actually think of my draft? I'll be honest. I know I made reaches in some points. Some picks I really liked. Others, I wondered what the hell I was thinking. What are your thoughts on mine overall before I tweak it?
I like it, but there are big holes. Week by week, look at the schedule. Your schedule is brutal for your team. It's,
Elliot.
I mean, brutal.
Yeah, I agree. Dallas has a super tough schedule.
John, tell them your
myself.
team in early so that we can talk about you after we hang up.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, well, I don't have that.
I'll get it. I'll get online and get it.
Oh, I got Diggs in the first round and A.J. Brown in the second. Because Eckler was gone. I wanted Eckler so bad. It was like sitting for me at number 2. But it didn't happen. And that's why you have to have plan B and C.
Hey, tell them what happened at your tight end position.
Oh, I went all the way down to nothing. I went down to commit.
So So you thought Garnet
Chicago's tight end.
You thought Garnet was going to fall to you, didn't you?
Everybody was taking tight ends in front of me, and I couldn't get to them.
All right, John. Hey, man. I love you, buddy. You want to come back on about half season and give us a progress? We'll send you where we're all at.
Oh, yeah. I'm keeping these notes from where you think I'm going to finish last.
I will put my evaluations up against half the season.
Okay.
And I'll bet you I'll be pretty close.
All right, buddy.
John, you are the king, dude.
You are the
Every
old
week
school
I hope
master.
you're on, dude. You are the king, sir.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you and Jackson, right? Jackson joined us too.
yeah, he always has to bark a little bit. So.
Yeah.
All right, John. And I appreciate your time, and we will be back with you in about 4 or 5 weeks.
All right, guys.
Too long.
Thank you, John.
Goodbye from Omaha.
See you, brother.
Goodbye from Omaha. What a sign off. I love that dude,
my
man.
God. Was that
That
funny?
in-depth analysis of our draft. That he went above and beyond. That's more work than Raj has put in for this show in 22 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, I usually forethought is key, and obviously, John, you and Randall, or he said Randall, you and himself had gone back, weeks or months discussing things, and I actually came down to Elliott or Eckler, and I was actually sitting next to Chain, and I kicked myself as soon as I made my pick. Even though I like my pick, they have the 20, I think actually one of the top 5 hardest schedules in the league. And I normally will look at schedules and divisions, and I didn't do that. I love Mostert, but, I had heard he had a minor injury. Now I recently see that he may have a back injury. So I'm really kicking myself for that. But John's analysis was pretty spot on, if you ask me. Couple of things I questioned.
First of all, Chain's not winning the league. I can assure you of that.
I mean, there's big time bias there with Trey Sermon. He's an Ohio State fan. Tannehill is not winning you anything, nor is Tyler Higbee, who I had, who killed me, or Justin Fields. His quarterbacks are rough. Tannehill and Fields, you can't win a championship with that, in my opinion. But I do like the top, 5 picks, especially the first 2. Eckler and Gibson both can catch the football. I mean, if that's non-PPR, you're just talking about touchdowns. Those are outstanding picks, and he was 12th, which is a spot that I love. Robbie, what do you think?
Well, I think so. On some of his rating, I agree that Chris should just forget about this season. I think he's got Blake too high at 8. Blake went back and forth, running back, receiver, running back, receiver, running back, tight end, like we're playing a non-PPR league 5 years ago. There was that's just I'm going to have a decent team, but I'm probably going to miss the playoffs. So I think he's got him. Geoff, let me look at Geoff's team. I like Derrick Henry. Geoff and me, we just have a different philosophy. He picked Henry high. So I think the receivers are going to open up that offense, and they're going to have. I think the Tannehill and the Titans wide receivers are going to have a big year this year. So I think Henry's going to be more of a decoy and let him kind of stay till you get later in the season. You control the ball more against your Kansas Cities, your Baltimores. But I think during this regular season, Vrabel's going to let the guys play.
Getting feedback.
I agree with Dave at number 9. That seems about reasonable. He didn't complete his 3 wideouts till round 7. It's a PPR league, like come on now. Which is a shame with the number 1 pick.
Champ is here. The champ is here.
God.
It was Randall. I was getting some feedback, so it was Randall that's jacking us up.
Yeah.
Real quick on Blake, I I thought Montgomery, Metcalf. I didn't like Evans, but I think Chase Edmonds is going to crush it this year. He got Kyle Pitts, which I think everyone was tempted to get that dude, but the proof is in the pudding, and if Matt Ryan's got to stay alive. I thought he did much better than what John had said or you, but I agree. Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones are not going to cut it.
All right, guys. We have a special guest joining us.
Oh yeah. So to preface this, Brandon is the guy who just simulated Madden and his team won the Super Bowl, and so now he thinks he's hot shit.
So
against what other teams?
From Thursday night on RiverCity-Media, starting next week, it is Brandon Chain with Stretch the Chain. So
Yes,
Brandon's the new host of a show that will be launching starting next week.
Clever name.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it, but he had a question for Robbie that I couldn't repeat because y'all know Robbie and I were given a nickname. We are we agree a lot of times, and I take Robbie's back, and I refused to ask this question, so I clearly told Shane if he wanted to ask it, he had to come on himself.
Well,
Shane, the floor is yours.
it's on the sticker, and I thought it was agreed upon for your team name there. So what's going on with that? What's the thoughts and prayers about? Are you putting yourself at 12?
Oh well, no. So, hey, that was not my name given to me. This thoughts and prayers. When an event happens to people and it's out of their control and something bad happens to them, well, that's just what happened to everyone in this league except for me. So our thoughts and prayers are with you guys as you go through this rough time in your life. And so I can't send money. I can't send change. All I can do is send my thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
You can send money.
I think that was more with a question mark at the end there. Like, please give me thoughts and prayers. Yeah. What do you think about number 12 there, Robbie? What's your defense on old John's perspective?
Well, no, about my team or about your pick at 12?
Oh, your team. Yeah.
Oh, I like I said, I think fundamentally we keep picking running backs and they keep getting hurt and they get replaced. And I look at who was it? So Randall with his 4 running back. Okay, so my overall strategy, it didn't work out exactly as I planned it to.
What round did exactly start? That's what we're all dying to know.
Right.
Well, so,
when did the Billy Bean, project come into play here?
Really, round 5 is when it started to go down. You had 1, 2, 3, 4. You had 4 teams pick a third running back when it was completely unnecessary. And so I didn't see that coming. And then I kind of went all in on my strategy of not picking running backs at all.
So you take a guy that's on the PUP list?
Yeah, so I did that. Very, very, not very dissimilar from my 5 quarterback draft one year. But Michael Thomas is going to be there for the playoffs, and so I'm planning ahead. And so for these teams, if Clippers going to win with Kamara, he needs Michael Thomas there. No, Brandon, I honestly do think you have a really good team because I do think Tannehill's going to light it up this year. I think he's just going to be throwing to open receivers after open receivers.
No, I concur.
And that's why I like.
Go ahead, Rand.
I'm sorry, Rob. I didn't mean to interrupt. Before you're done, Rob, I always interrupt, but especially now because I'm sober on Diet Coke. But just before you're done, I've got an issue with Chain's team. Even though I love the guy and he knows it, I got major issues with it.
All right, let's hear that. I'll quickly defend my pick. So, I
don't think you can do that quickly.
I've got assets. Now, granted, every trade I've ever proposed gets vetoed, but maybe this one will be different. Maybe this year I actually
Randall
get a trade through. But no, I'm happy with my team. I like where I stand. I'm gonna be one of those teams that is gonna sneak in the playoffs, and Joe Burrow is gonna be throwing late, and so is Tannehill, and I like it. My weakest spot is Kelsey being my number one pick, and him being sitting out the last game of the season.
So I will tell you where I thought I went, oh, wow, that just happened. When you picked Michael Thomas and Kareem Hunt was still on the board, I thought that was what you were going to do. I expected to see Kareem Hunt, Tariq Cohen, J.D. McKissick, people like that, those PPR backs.
Oh, well, see, that was when there was 3 running backs in a row. And then I honestly thought I was going to be able to circle back around and get someone, but y'all kept drafting running backs like idiots.
I did, admittedly.
Your thought earlier there, Raj. I'd like to hear what the problem is with my team.
Okay, you want me to do you first and then Rob? How much time we got, buddy, for Rob? So my issue with your team is that I always believe, and it's really hard, especially when we're all having a good time, to say the least. Lots of booze, but to think with your head, not your heart. You are obviously Ohio State and a Tennessee Titans fan. I got Corey Davis and Tannehill on the Titans. Tannehill and Fields, it's sink or swim. I mean, it could be, boom or bust. But I think it's more bust. As far as Ohio State guys, you've got Trey Sermon, who's awesome when he's healthy, but we don't really – it's unproven. I thought it was a little early for him. Paris Campbell, and then again, Justin Fields. So just 5 dudes from your 2 favorite teams I have issues with in your quarterbacks. Then you got the 2 Bears receivers. 2 Bears receivers, I don't know, is Dalton the starter, even though he's got Field? And Robinson finds a way usually, but, the Darnell Mooney and the Elijah Moore pick are very interesting. I could see you doing really well because their first 2 picks are awesome, or I could see you tanking. Philip Lindsay, anybody on the Texans, except Mark Ingram, so I can't say much. But, it's a big boomer bust squad. But I thought Claypool and your first 2 picks were excellent. Elijah Moore, if he can do what he did, wow. But Robert Woods, I've had him multiple years. So he always, I'm thinking with my heart there, he's a Trojan, but he just manages to find a way, and he has the best hands on that team, even better than the white guy, Cooper Kupp. Sorry. So that was just my opinion. A lot of boom or bust and a lot of Titans and Buckeyes.
Well, I'll take you through my thought process there. So,
please.
Being at 12,
I love this show.
A lot of the good ones are gone, pretty early. So once you get a handful of those guys, first, 4, maybe 5 picks, then you start looking for a lot of high upside. So the rest of that team is boom or bust, just like you said. It's high upside.
You won the first 2 rounds, in my opinion.
Well, I appreciate that. But you look at – so there's going to be a number 1 on the Bears. It's presumably Robinson. But who's this rookie kid who runs a 4.3, Mooney, that comes out of nowhere? So, to snag him late, he could be a playoff pusher in the end. Same with Paris Campbell. T.Y. Hilton not doing so well there. So
Elijah Moore,
same thing. Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, one of those guys are going to be the number 1. They got to catch balls. So again, looking for a high upside flex play with that thought process.
Understand.
Has everybody got the draft in front of you? Can you see the draft boards? I want to go real fast. We'll take a minute. I want to go through everybody's draft. I want to go around round robin. And I want you to give your best pick and worst pick from each draft. You understand what I'm trying to get at? So we'll go to Dave's draft. give me your favorite pick that Dave made and your least favorite pick. It
we-
doesn't mean. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, can we stay out of maybe the first 2 rounds, or you want to include those? Because if we're looking at, your top 2 picks, it's going to be the first
I
2
would-
rounds.
I would say round
I
3.
can tell you that my favorite pick is rarely in the top 2 rounds.
Got it.
So
Sure.
we're looking for value. So let's go from Dave, or do we want to start with Shane and work our way back? 12. Let's start with Shane, work our way back.
Let's start with Shane.
Shane's here. All right. So I'll go first with Shane. I loved his first 2 picks. I'll be honest with you. I think him and Geoff kind of compete who had the best first 2 picks. What I didn't like was I'm not as high on Tannehill as some people. And if Tannehill fails, it's Fields. But I say that, and I took Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, so I did the same thing. I kind of took a flyer and a quarterback. So that's probably the weakness. But I absolutely love the first 2 picks. I think they're great. Raj?
Obviously, I agree. I already said I thought he won the first 2 rounds. I thought we'll get to Geoff, but I kind of agreed with John on Chubb, but we'll see. What scares me about the Bears, he has 2 Bears receivers. Dalton and Fields are the quarterbacks. Allen Robinson is probably the most underrated receiver in the NFL, or at least one of them. Chase Claypool got a ton of touchdowns. So I really liked Claypool. And then again, I said, those more, if we don't know what we're going to get out of Elijah Moore. He looks like Julio Jones, Paris Campbell, Mooney. All 3 of those guys could go nuts. So I kind of liked the flyers that he took. Sermon was like the most dominant back in the national championship game until he got hurt. Again, super boom or bust, and you gotta have bet your nuts to do that. And again, we were definitely all feeling pretty good. So those are my favorites on Shane's draft. The worst, quarterbacks. I don't like the quarterbacks.
Fair enough.
All right, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, opposite you guys. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen Tannehill's stats compared to Patrick Mahomes since he took over the starting quarterback for the Titans. They are eerie similar. Patrick Mahomes gets all the hype because of obviously his talent, but granted, we lost Arthur Smith, so we'll see how that replacement fills in. But Tannehill's been killing it.
Lots of weapons.
Tannehill, yeah, and you add Julio. Tannehill was who I was aiming for. It's who I was hoping would fall to me. So for him to get Tannehill is who I was hoping would fall for me. So get him in the 8th round. That was by far, I think, the pick of Shane's draft. I don't
33 TDs, 7 picks, by the way, for Tannehill. I didn't realize he did that well. I'll be honest. Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
I think one of the highest completion percentages in the NFL, 69%, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Check
it's
on that.
a scary
Jumps it
number.
off.
So I will go back to the day that Kyle Shanahan walked out of Atlanta and the regression in Matt Ryan. And that's my
Smith leaving is a wild card for sure. But hey, of all the coaches from Belichick's tree, Vrabel seems to be doing the best and running the. Hey, if it's not for Kansas City, Vrabel's been to a Super Bowl.
True.
Jane, anything you hate about your own draft?
I kind of tend to agree with Raj on the Sermon pick. That it might have been a bit of a stretch. Again, it was probably the Homer kind of deal at that point in the draft. We were probably feeling pretty good at that point. So, and again, I didn't have my own personal sheet to draft off of. So This was trying to fly by memory, and that's probably we're gonna see. We'll see how that plays out. To be continued.
Mostert's a wild card. Admittedly, that was my
he just can't stay healthy.
Pick. Yeah, and Sermon, the backup there, and
can't stay healthy.
Who knows, man? That's an offensive line there too. Well, I agree.
Yeah. All right,
we'll see.
Let's try to move on here. Allen,
Yep.
I like Allen's quarterbacks. I went into the draft targeting for Dak Prescott because I really believed in what Dak Prescott was doing last year on a pace for a throw to 6,000 yards. Dak went one round earlier than I thought he would. And then to come back and put Tom Brady on your bench, I don't think he's going to struggle for quarterback play. I like his first two running backs in Jones and Swift, and then the rest I kind of think are crap. So that's my opinion. Robbie, you can go next on this one.
As far as his best pick, I do like Mark Andrews. I think it's a nice safety blanket for Lamar Jackson, obviously. I don't like DeAndre Swift, so that'd be my pick for him. I'm not as high on Dak as most people are. Don't like DeAndre Swift. I think Allen had a chance in rounds 4 and 5 to really separate himself, and I don't think he did that.
So if Lenny doesn't take Allen 5 picks ahead of him, and you put Josh Allen on his team, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Raj?
Yeah, first of all, we just heard Rob's analysis in which he talked about everything top to bottom, and Allen could have separated himself in rounds 4 and 5. The reason why I bring this up is I got to defend Rob because he hosts the draft. His family's amazing. It's on like a lake where they have wonderful property. Let's put it that way. I don't want you guys to get robbed. Massive number of places. Yeah, last year we had a DJ. Masks were worn, of course. Rob sang karaoke, which I think he rapped Eminem. But I firmly believe in Rob's defense that he doesn't really give a shit. Really, he wants to have a great time, and he's going to talk shit no matter what. He doesn't care, and it's more fun to do it, when you have kind of less behind you, if you know what I mean. It's more of a challenge, and he is an attorney, so I think he gets sick joy out of having a crappy team and then basically just talking trash the whole year. So he wants good vibes, dude. That's all he wants. That's all I'll say about Rob and defending him. I can't wait till we'll get to his team. Allen, yeah, same things though. Swift and Prescott, I don't trust either. I did like the Lamb and Tyreek Hill picks. I love Juju, but he seems to be the odd man out in Pittsburgh with Claypool and Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson? I'm tripping. I can't even think right now. He got Ronald Jones late, though, and he's a starter in Tampa. Did pretty well last year, but James Conner, his running backs, Curtis Samuel, who knows with his quarterback. So I really see kind of more bad than good when I looked at the picks that came after him. But we could really say that for each one of us and everyone in fantasy football.
What about your boy there, Shane?
Yeah, so I did see the Prescott pick coming. If you guys paid attention, Allen does like to stack those receiver quarterback plays. So taking CeeDee Lamb in the 3rd, you could see a potential reach coming for Prescott. Prescott was on pace for 6,000 yards last year. So I like the flyer pick on that. But, my favorite pick to back it up was how he took Brady late in the rounds. Brady's going to be solid. He's going to be a nice safety blanket, in my opinion, just like, an Andrews or whoever. So I kind of like that stack up. Not a fan of the Smith-Schuster pick. Like you said, Raj, I think there's too much talent on that squad. I think Smith-Schuster's going to get Antonio Brown out of there. So.
All right, so let's go on to Stewart. And I'll be honest with Stewart.
Became a
I
bird.
love his first-round pick. Hate his second-round pick. I thought Jonathan Taylor, Roger, and this will be my criticism of you. I thought Jonathan Taylor was the pick for you over Zeke. So I love Jonathan Taylor. But I think Stewart lost his ever-loving mind taking Cooper over Lamb. So that was my big, like, what? Almost moment. And then Stewart's an Alabama graduate, so there you go. All right, who wants to go next? Robbie.
So Stewart had one of the more kind of by the book drafts that we had. I agree with you. I think Carlos Edwards-Helaire was too early. I would have liked to see receiver there. Russell Wilson's going to put up numbers. He also runs for his life, but he's been durable. I'm with you. I think Cooper's a little early. As far as, hating or loving anything about his, I think the 3 quarterbacks wasn't necessary, but at the end of the draft, what are you doing? And this comes from someone who's drafted 5 quarterbacks before.
I was going to bring that up, but
Very true.
Yeah. So best pick, I guess I like Russell Wilson. And then I think Cooper's on his downside. I don't really like that pick.
Raj.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, a great pick at 1. I agree that Edwards-Helaire, I mean, you saw him last year. He wore down considerably. I just see a lot of dudes that are competing for balls, and none of them are really – most of the guys are on the downslope. Amari Cooper, yeah, and CeeDee Lamb, wow. In that, Cooper's ADP, average draft position, anywhere from like 48 to 65 generally, where CeeDee Lamb – it's like in the 20 to 30, 35 range. It's obvious that he's the special one. And as a Raider fan, watching them take Ruggs over that dude seriously hurt my heart, but it's Raiders. 3 quarterbacks, entirely unnecessary. And by the way, Stewart did take Ruggs. Robert Tonyan's tight end. He got him pretty late. We just don't know with that dude. I had him, and he'd be like 3 touchdowns last year. I picked him up halfway, and then he'd be 0 points, literally, like no catches. So, yeah, worst 3 quarterbacks and Amari Cooper over CeeDee Lamb. Best, aside from Jonathan Taylor, who's his kicker? He doesn't have a kicker. He does have Jimmy Graham as his backup tight end.
That pretty well says everything. All right,
Right.
Jay.
All right. So, yeah, Edwards-Helaire, what are you doing? I mean, you've got Chubb on the board, Najee. I mean, come on. I don't see that one. That's way too early. That should have been a 4th or 5th round pick. But my favorite pick, actually, I like DJ Moore. I think that was a pretty good pick at that point in the draft. Sam Darnold, right, Carolina? I think he's slightly underrated. Going to have a little bit better quarterback situation than Bridgewater. So, yeah. We'll see how that goes.
All right. So we got 9 teams in 30 minutes. So we'll try to check through this. Lenny. Lenny's draft was what Lenny's draft was last year. I think he tried to reproduce what he had last year. And he did the same thing with Perrin Allen, with Diggs. Then he came back and he picked Beasley. So he's got the majority of the Buffalo offense. That's my favorite thing. My least favorite thing is he's got the majority of the Buffalo offense. So,
Yep,
that's the problem. So, All right, Robbie, you're next.
Yeah. So, and this has been Lenny's MO. The receiver QB combo. Usually, though, he gets it with a receiver in round 2 or 3 and a quarterback in round 8, 9, 10. He's putting his top 4, half of his first 4 picks are tied in this combo. So a COVID issue, a injury issue, something like that, it wipes out half of your draft, your first 4 picks. Also, you're going to have a bye week issue. He's got, when Allen's on the bye, so is Diggs and so is Beasley. So he's got Jared Goff throwing to Christian Kirk. That's not a recipe for a win. Granted, it's just 1 week, but could be an important week. So that's what I don't like about his draft. I like Tyler Lockett at 3. I think Seahawks will be playing from behind a lot in that division, and Russell Wilson's gonna let Russ cook. So that would be, I think that quarterback receiver combo was too early to take up half of your first 4 picks. Riding on that.
All right. Yeah. Raj?
But I probably got it.
Yeah.
I
So
think we think that,
what, last year, the last 2 years I've traded with Lenny, I felt I won both trades hands down. Obviously I didn't, in the sense I've had a lot of misfortune. I've got to go back and look at them. But, I gave him Brady because I had Josh Allen and I needed some receivers. And I think I got Adam Thielen, and he blew his hamstring up that week. Just stuff like that, which made me go crazy. But he won 2 in a row. So I was surprised, but obviously 2 in a row is no fluke. Looking at his draft, I had Josh Allen last year. I got him in like the 9th round, and he basically got me there. First 3 picks, it's PPR. Diggs, Ridley, Lockett, all are big-time number 1s. All are expected to blow it up. I don't like, the running backs. I hear what John was saying about Kareem Hunt. He is more durable than Nick Chubb, and they've got the best offensive line in football. But the other backs, Mike Davis, you don't know what you're getting. Atlanta's OL is terrible. David Johnson, Chuba Hubbard, who is McCaffrey's backup, but is kind of a similar back. And then, Cole Beasley, that guy single-handedly lost me championships in the past. And Jared Goff. But, okay, best pick Kareem Hunt. And even though I questioned it, aside from Josh Allen, that's a given. But the tight ends are terrible. Evan Ingram, I don't trust. David Naiuk, or I don't even know if he's where he is anymore. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah.
off the chain.
He plays for Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
He did. He did. I hope he still does.
Yeah, I don't know. Strong at receiver for sure. I'm not worried about the bye weeks as much as Robbie is. I never even pay attention to that. I can always stream someone to fill in if need be. I don't like Allen in the 4th
You're
round.
not trying to go undefeated like I am, Brandon.
Some people have been to the playoffs a few more times, but I don't like Josh Allen in the 4th. I think that's a bit of a stretch.
I think it's too early
for that stack. Yeah, for sure too early. Yeah, my favorite pick would, maybe just going ballsy kind of wide receiver the first 3 rounds.
It's nothing.
And then, my worst is Allen at 4. I think that's just too far of a stretch. That's when he should have went a better running back at that point for sure.
Yeah. All right. Next up, our fellow cast member. By the way, I want to plug 2 things. I know we're in a hurry. Live from Buffalo Wild Wings, the week of September the 25th. 3 Hour Sports. That is the week of the Florida-Tennessee game. That is the week of the Titans-Colts game. It is going to be Tennessee Football Week. We are going to have special guests. We're going to have wings. We'll also have members of the Stretch the Chain with Chain group on. Also, that's the other thing to plug. I think next Thursday we will at least shoot a demo, and it'll be aired. We don't have a cast yet, so we're putting that together this week. But off the chain with Chain.
Nice.
Raj, I think I made your draft for you, and I'm going to tell you how. I sat at Lamar Jackson and pondered taking Huber.
Wait,
I really thought that was the.
Wait, Randall, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to interrupt. I just want to plug another matchup that you didn't talk about. That will be me playing Clipper Clay on that next day from Buffalo Wild Wings. So I will try to get him on the phone and tell him how bad I'm going to beat him.
And my wife's birthday is that. That
Oh,
week.
it's Blakey Boy's birthday
that's
too, and my sister-in-law.
That is a running segment.
Lots of birthdays.
I really thought where you got Herbert was great value. Now, your first two picks, I'm not crazy about them because I thought that there were better players there. I like Taylor at wide receiver better. At running back in the first round better. And when you took Hopkins, and I struggle with Hopkins only because of the fact that I feel like he's long in the tooth. And I thought the pick may have been DK Metcalf there. So it's not that I disagree with your draft. I just think I would have went a different way in your position. Robbie?
Yeah, I don't mind Elliott. I actually think your best pick, although I think you messed up by not having enough receivers. But Jalen Waddle, I think for that late,
Great pick.
has a potential. He's a stud. And now we'll see how he matches up against NFL talent. But at Alabama, every single play he flew off the screen. So he could be good in pairing him with Tua. And actually, I think the AFC East it went from the maybe not the worst, but like the most boring division of football to now one of the most exciting with all these young QBs and seeing what they can do. So I like that pick. I had Chris Carson last year. He was injury prone, and that may have been a one-off COVID year. He just had left a bad taste in my mouth. I couldn't keep him on the field. If I would have kept him on the field, I'm pretty sure I would have won the championship. So that's another waste opportunity I have. But that would be my one good thing and one critique. I agree. Justin Herbert. I think he's a stud in the making. I think LA, is going to light it up.
All right, Shane. Rod, you get the last word on your own team.
My favorite, I've got two for you. My favorite first pick would be Brandy Naiuk. I love that pick there. I think, what round was that? Yeah, I thought I was going to catch him on the swing there, and you took him a few picks ahead of me. I think he's going to have a breakout year and might even get you into playoffs there. So love that. Also love Gronk late. I think he's underrated, and I think that's quite a value down there.
That's true.
I think that's going to be one of the touchdown monsters on that team for sure, as we saw in the Super Bowl. My worst pick for you is Carson. Totally agree. Not a big fan. I don't know. I've never been a fan of him ever since Marshawn left. I just feel like they couldn't really get that backfield together, and they've been back and forth with injury-prone running backs and, kind of more by committee sometimes. So that's, where I'm at.
All right, Rod, buddy.
Yeah. I was torn. Jonathan Taylor I had last year, and he was so terrible for like a 4-game stretch. And then he ended up crushing at the end of the year, or 5-game stretch for me. And I don't remember what I did with him. I may have traded him or even dropped him. But I was torn between Zeke and Eckler. Zeke always scares me. Chris Carson does. Definitely alcohol involved. But they're both number one guys that are going to get the ball a lot, especially around the goal line. Hopkins, 3 straight 100 reception years, 96 the one before that. Yeah, he's getting older, but that dude's a monster. I like the Gaskin and Naiuk pick. Gaskin caught 41 balls last year, and he is the lead back there. But with Tua, you don't know what's going to happen. Mostert, injury prone. When he's on, he's amazing. So long story short, I don't really love my tight ends, even though Gronk in like the 4th to last round was good value. And I think I should have stacked up more on receivers. I have not dropped my kicker yet. I haven't even logged on. So
Yeah, that was my bad. That was a mistake by me.
no worries. I'll probably tweak my team tonight now that I look at it and wonder how much I had to drink. But, in terms of thinking, I love Justin Herbert. And, I try to get backs that are elusive and that catch the football a lot. And Michael Pittman's a USC guy. I think he's going to crush it. He had 40 last year for 503 yards. Only scored 1 TD, though. So, Waddle, a lot of boomer bust dudes. Like, sometimes I love my picks. Carr as a backup that late. Carr had really good numbers last year, even though I have serious issues with him. But, like everyone, boomer bust. I look at picks that came after a few of mine, and I'm wondering what I was thinking.
All right, next up is Criminal, and he probably drafted he's got the same combo as Lenny in Rodgers and Adams, and he spent a lot for it. What I do not like at all is I think Mixon there's an opportunity he loses that job. I don't think LA trades for Sony Michel if Henderson was as secure as we like to think he is. Kenyon Drake is a 35%, 65% share, and Justin Jackson may not see the football. So I just don't think – I think he'll be out trying to make a trade for a running back early.
Yeah, I completely agree. He drafted worse running backs than I did, and I didn't draft running backs.
I would rate his running backs the second worst. That's the truth.
I mean, Cincinnati's going to be throwing the ball all over the field. Yeah, Sony Michel came to L. I completely agree. Like, I don't know what he to draft 2 running backs and your top 4 picks and not have any good running backs. You kind of screwed the pooch on your draft.
Yeah.
Well, good thing is,
did we say anything?
go ahead.
Did you say anything you liked about his draft?
Oh, I mean the Rodgers Adams combination will keep him in some games, and they can always explode and go off. But I think they're in a pretty tough division. I know people give the Vikings and the Bears crap. The Bears got a lot better with Fields. The Vikings are solid. They're competitive. The Lions always suck.
All right, Raj.
I'll be quick for once. Robbie pretty much nailed it. I think he took Joe Mixon way too high. I'm not a big fan. 400 yards last year, roughly. He did catch about 20 balls. I like Darrell Henderson. I don't think Sony Michel is going to take too much from him. He didn't get the ball around the goal line a lot. They didn't really trust him. So that's kind of a boomer bust. Brandon Cooks in round 7. Kenyon Drake in 8. No. I thought Gesicki actually that late was very good. And Michael Gallup was a good pick. You also got McCole Hardman in the fourth to last round. So there are some good value picks, but a lot of blown opportunities.
And Shane.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just the same thing. Running backs are just struggling right here. I actually don't mind the Cooks pick. I mean, he's going to be the number one there. Now, who knows who's going to be throwing to him? But he's going to catch the balls for a PPR league. I think he'll be fine for a third or fourth, maybe a flex guy. So that value is not terrible. I agree. Gesicki's not bad, and I'm not a fan of Miko Hardman. He flash points at times, but where he took him, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, running back is struggling.
Robbie must be pouring him a drink, so I'll go ahead with Blake. All right, and this, I don't know if this is a criticism or what, but I feel like Blake's draft is like the Randall draft that gets you in the playoffs, into the quarterfinals or semifinals. He took good players. He tried to fill his roster. I love DK Metcalf. I'm not crazy about Mike Evans, but because he's in a big share. I love the Kyle Pitts the pick, but it really seems like his draft is high floor guys, but not high ceiling guys. So these are guys that's going to score every week, but it's hard to find the guy that's going to go off for 30 points. So good draft, but I just not. When we get to my draft, I will take a second and tell you how I tried to change my draft. But Blake's draft this year reminds me of my drafts every year. So, Raj, go ahead, and Robbie, we're looking at Blake.
Okay.
So you'll be after Raj.
All right, real quick. Metcalf, Montgomery, great value there. Evans had 13 TDs last year, but I was scared of all the Tampa dudes. And I think Antonio, a lot of dudes, you never know. A lot of unproven guys. And Pitts was early, I thought. Judy, who's throwing him the ball. Is it Teddy or is it going to be Locke? But really the quarterbacks. John was right. He waited a long time. And to get Baker in the 11th round and then Daniel Jones later, that's going to be tough to win with those two dudes. But just definitely a big, like all of us, sink or swim. Saquon had him last year in a couple of leagues. We know what happened there. So, I can see Blake doing really well, or I can see him tanking. My favorite pick was the Chase Edmonds pick. I think he's going to do really well this year and get the ball in all sorts of ways.
All right, Robbie.
Yeah, so this is what I don't like about Blake's draft. He's going to start off probably 1-3, 2-5. Saquon's Daniel Jones just hasn't proved himself. Like, they're going to load the box they're going to make Daniel Jones prove himself. Saquon's going to start off slow. I think David Montgomery with a rookie quarterback, same thing. They're going to make Fields prove himself before they'll start respecting him. And same, and y'all, if y'all been watching the show, y'all know how much I love Kyler Pitts. But in college, it's enough just to be able to be the best athlete. In the pros, you got to learn to line up, run your route properly, and then throw you open. And plus, I just don't know if I trust Atlanta's offense to do anything. So I think while I like the players and the talent, I don't like them how they gel together. I think it's a lot of talented players, but they're not gonna perform well. So that would be my knock on it. I do think Jerry Judy's a good pick, but who's throwing the ball in Denver? It looks like Blake had a
Bridgewater now. Rick, what was different?
Blake had a combine draft. He picked a lot of dudes that perform well at the combine, but don't necessarily perform well unless they're in the right situation.
Yeah. All right.
And
Bring us
I'm
home,
not
Shane.
down on Baker Mayfield's the rest of you guys, but as a QB1, that's a little rough.
Yeah, I'll make it short. QBs are struggling. He's going to have to hit the waiver wire and maybe stream some matchups. Love the Jared Judy pick. I think he's going to be a stud this year. And Metcalf, for, of course, obvious reasons. But, yeah, that's it.
All right. Up next, our historic leader, Raj. Are you ready for Robbie yet?
Oh yeah.
So, here we go.
All right. So let me go ahead and say this. Robbie and I had a trade in place that got vetoed.
Shocking.
Here's the thing about it, and I think everybody that cowed at number 5 when he picked Kelsey would be shocked to know if that trade had went through, I would have picked Kelsey at number 5. I think Kelsey is the biggest advantage you can have on the field at any given time. So if that trade goes through, I've got Kelsey. Hey, Robbie's got Najee Harris and Javonte Williams on his team. All right.
We will
Number
still
2.
keep proposing it until it gets accepted.
Number 2. I almost went and drafted a running back before you noticed it was your pick at number 6. I was just like, I think you got, after it went through 6, you were like, I can prove I can win this league by going this long by not drafting a running back. I like the Michael Thomas pick, but I was hoping that was where you were going to take Kareem Hunt, because it made sense to me if you'd have come out of the draft with like Kareem Hunt, J.D. McKissick, Tariq Cohen, and went, okay, I'm all in on all these PPR backs. Screw a regular running back. That would have made more sense to me. Which, what I thought you were doing until you went, okay, I'm going rogue. So, I'd like to hear your comment on that. What was your plan coming in with running back?
I'll discuss it after everyone else talks.
Raj.
To get 2 tight ends in the top four rounds is a bold strategy. He also kind of covered the starting receivers for a few teams to go AJ Brown and then Julio Jones back to back, both Titans receivers. I guess somehow they're not going to share balls, or they are. I don't know. Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, both receivers on the same team. And is it Marcus Callaway?
And
Michael Thomas.
And who?
And Michael Thomas.
And Michael Thomas on the Saints. So it was an interesting strategy to draft 3 sets of receivers on the same team. Running back, he went late. And, Joe Burrow and then Roethlisberger. You got Burrow late, big time boomer bust. I can see both of those guys not making it past week 5. Getting Fournette that late. Devin Singletary still the number 1 back there, even though it seems like Zach Moss is definitely getting more carries in the goal line. Carlos Hyde, is he still in the league? But, he actually did well on running backs in terms of value, but his first running back being in the 11th round or whatever, that was a bold strategy. So 2 tight ends in the first 4 rounds, and then again 3 sets of receivers all on the same team. That's my issue.
The best comment was Robbie didn't draft a running back till the second handle, so I thought that was appropriate. All right, Shane.
Yeah, I actually really do like the Singletary late round value there. I mean, to grab a starter that late. I mean, maybe we just weren't paying that close of attention to block you out on those running backs. But no, I thought that was actually pretty smart. The rest of the running back squad, you really didn't have much to choose from. So I get the flyer on Hyde, him paired back with Urban Meyer again. That might help out a little bit. He's going to see some touches, maybe some goal line work there. Two tight ends and 4 picks. I get the Kelsey one, but Hawkinson might be a bit of a stretch. Maybe right there you could have took a good running back instead. You probably could have got Hawkinson in place of Fournette that far down the draft. Maybe Boyd. But, we'll see how this Billy Bean strategy plays out for you, buddy.
You could have took. I would think instead of Hawkinson, you could have gotten. I think it was Darrell Henderson or Myles Gaskin. Not great backs, but anyway.
I don't.
Billy Bean,
Henderson, Gaskin, Swift,
Edmonds, Hunt,
Edmonds, Jacobs, Dobbins. Well, you don't want Dobbins. Sanders,
we have
Williams.
14
Shall I
people
go on?
online waiting for this explanation. Sir, go ahead.
All right. So we have QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex, defense, kicker. I wanted 45% of my team to be the number one player on their team. And so I think I accomplished that. And so with that, I've got a Detroit flex tight end who's going to be Jared Goff's pretty much only weapon. He's going to be tossing him a PPR out the wazoo. I've got Singletary. I was hoping to get another number one back and then get the 2 number ones as we all picked too many running backs. So I was hoping to get over that 50 to 55% number one options as my starting lineup. Now I've got plug and plays and matchups as I got this 45% as number one option as it moves around. So I can only focus. I don't have to focus on watching 3 or 4 teams to figure out what my matchups are going to be as they move forward. So by condensing what you have to focus on, I can be a master of those subjects. And thus, I am going to be able to pick and choose, plug and play who I want starters, flex, bench, and versus matchup. So if I have Julio is being single covered, or AJ will probably never get single covered. But as you look down the line, I have less to focus on and to make better decisions. And that there is Moneyball, bitches.
less to focus on to make better decisions.
I only have to look at 4 teams my whole entire. This is awesome.
I pray that like one of those or 2 of those teams are on the bye week, so he has like 8 players out.
Okay. Let's move on to. I can't even see who's next. Jeff, who's been online with us, patiently waiting. So, I think Jeff hung his hat. Well, first of all, because I ran my mouth about J.K. Dobbins getting hurt, he was able to steal Gus Edwards. That was a great pick, but I'm the one that was on Twitter, should have been quiet. I think there's a debate about who has the best 1-2 running backs. And I think Geoff feels like he does. I think Shane feels like he does. I think Stewart feels like he does. And I think I feel like I do. So we all went running back early. I like Geoff's draft. Geoff and I disagree on talent sometimes. And I was not crazy So also, I've went away from the high catch guys like the Cooper Cupps, and that how I made my living in fantasy for years was these little guys that would have 140 catches, and 875 yards. So I've went. You'll see in my draft outside of Thielen, I try to go guys that are upside, big yardage, big play guys. I do think Chubb at 19 was value Geoff, but I had Najee Harris rated higher than Chubb. I would have took Najee when you took Chubb. So I had Najee Harris way higher than a lot of people did, I'm sure. But my thought of thinking is it's Pittsburgh. They're going to run the football. So I thought it was a good draft. I think a lot of Geoff's. I think Geoff and my team are similar. I don't think we're slam dunks, but I think with some breaks we could be good. So I don't disagree that Geoff is a top 4 team. So I really didn't like one section of his draft. And I'm not, let me get back over to him and blow this thing up. There was a section where he took Cup and he took Allen. He likes Keenan Allen, but again, Keenan Allen is from the Hopkins school in my mind. He's getting long in the tooth. But you look at it, him and I basically went the same strategy, same pick, same round. So anyway, good draft. I think you got to find a little bit of explosion. Robbie?
Hey, it's good for you and him to have friends in the consolation bracket.
Thanks.
So kind of repeating my theme, I like Derrick Henry. He's a beast. I don't think he's gonna have a big of season as he has in the past because he doesn't need to anymore. The Titans offense has evolved. They're going to save him for, even though he doesn't really get worn down, but hey, another season, another 2 seasons, that's value. So I think he's going to still get his points, his touchdowns, but he will not get the yard. He won't do the 2,000 yard back again this year. I'd like Stafford this late. While Stafford's been kind of inconsistent, I think you pair him with Coach Brandon McVay, then I think that he was going to add some real firepower to that offense. But they play in a really tough division. And then what seems to be the money man of the league, Kirk Cousins as your backup. I love that because they always play for nothing late, and he always slings it around in the playoff. If he can make the playoffs, Kirk Cousins can win you a championship.
Did last year? Didn't Lenny have him last year?
Yeah, because Lenny seems to always. I think he had in the last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Raj, what about Geoff draft?
Yeah, another boom or bust. I thought he did better than usual. Just kidding. Henry and Chubb, I agree that Henry's not going to be the same. You're right. They don't need him to do that. Chubb, he's got to stay healthy. Keenan Allen, I had him last year. Another guy that has to stay healthy, but they don't really have much outside of him in terms of receivers in LA. Cooper Kupp caught 92 balls, but I think he had 3 touchdowns last year. I've had him for a number of years in a row, and he just never seems to produce when I need him to. I like Deontay Johnson and even Thielen, if he's healthy, better. But, to get Josh Jacobs that late was really strong. And Logan Thomas was another good pick. Obviously, Gus Edwards after that. And this is in reference to Logan Thomas in the 7th, Gus Edwards in the 8th. But I don't love the quarterbacks. Stafford is still Matt Stafford. Even though he's going to be on the Rams, he's still Matt Stafford. They do have good receivers. Running game is going to be suspect. So I think he's going to get keyed on quite a bit. And, Kirk Cousins, again, another guy. I think I had him 3 years ago, and he did not do what what he did for Lenny. Let's put it that way. Then he got Hunter Henry in nearly the last round. So, some guys that are going to do really well, but other guys that could get hurt and be dead.
All right, Shane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys with Henry, obviously Titan fan. I think he's going to be great when needed. I'm hoping he gets to 1,500 yards this year. Would be great, but I don't see quite the 330 plus touches that he got in the previous years. I do like Jacobs late, and I think he's got a couple high upside guys. Robbie Anderson, another one that I really like for the high upside. I mean, he's a speed demon, touchdown threat. Now Curtis Samuel's gone there as well. Going to get a little bit more target share spread around between him and DJ Moore.
Blankenship, though. Sorry, that was. Ugh. I mean, not even the last pick. That dude almost got cut.
Yeah, Blankenship.
Yeah, what round did he took it? He took him in the Rodrigo. There was 14, 15, and 16. He took it in 14.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
It's a kicker.
I know, I'm joking. I got it.
All right. Let's
This is kind of how the draft went off the rails.
3 more teams in 20 minutes. So let's go with Clipper Clay. And Clay's is easy for me. Real easy. I love Clipper Clay's first 4 picks. I think his first 4 picks may be the best 4 picks of the draft. As far as the first 4 together, I love Deontay Johnson. I love Kittle. I love Mahomes. I love Kamara. And then I absolutely hate his next 4 picks. Of course, J.K. Dobbins is gone for the year. Beckham, you're hoping he finds something he lost 5 years ago. Jamar Chase has been arguably the most disappointing player in camp. And Will Fuller is, we don't know. Well, we hope he's Will Fuller a couple of years ago in Texas, but now he's Will Fuller in Miami. So Will Fuller is the one I like best of those 4 picks. But his first 4 picks are my favorite 4 picks. 5 through 8 was my least favorite. And Robbie.
So I mean, UT grad, love Kamara, but I had the same reservations that I think Raj and John were talking about, where it's like it's a new offense they're building in, and how much of a downgrade is Winston from Drew Brees? That's huge. And Michael Thomas being out till week 7. Man, you're talking about defenses have coaches too, and they're going to focus on him. It's hard. You can't pass up a talent like that on 3, so I don't blame him for that pick, but I don't love it. Obviously, Mahomes is Mahomes. Yes, check that box. Kittle. My thing with Kittle is it going to be a transition year in San Francisco or not? If it's Garoppolo the whole year, I'm good with Kittle. If they transition, honestly, I don't hate his first 4. He just got a bad break with Dobbins getting hurt on round 5, and then after that, I agree with you, Randall. It's very Clipperish.
Clippers. I like that. All right, Raj.
I just, again, not going to reiterate the first 4 rounds were great, in my opinion. I agree with Randall. He got shafted with Dobbins, and that's tough, dude. A 5th round pick that looked like a pretty damn good pick. Last year was Saquon. This year it's Dobbins. Tough to come back from that. I agree with those next receivers, Beckham, Chase, and Fuller. Sony Michel, I think way too high. I think people fall in love with that dude. I don't believe in taking defenses or kickers high. I know he took the Rams and then Justin Tucker. So maybe the exceptions, but I don't think so. The late picks, So I agree. 5 through 9, even 10, 11. Again, I have a different philosophy. I don't take defenses and kickers until the last 2 rounds. So about 6 rounds, not that great in my opinion. 4 rounds, really great. In the 5th round, he had Dobbins, which that just blows.
Yeah. All right, Shane.
I think he had one of the best drafts going for sure until the news about Dobbins came out, unfortunately.
I think the news about Dobbins threw him off his game a little bit.
It wasn't good. We watched it live. Anyway, I actually think Beckham, might be slightly underrated there. I think that might be a decent value. Are they throwing him and Jarvis? They're going to sling the ball. They threw it quite a bit last year. But pretty much after that, Fuller possibly high upside. After that, the rest of it, obviously he lost his train of thought when he drafted a defense that high. So. Love you, Clipper.
I do like his Fisker late, though. All right. So I'm going to let Robbie go first on my draft. I will go last.
Okay. Well, obviously, we had a trade in place that would have shaped my opinion of your draft a lot differently. Dalvin Cook, obviously solid. I think so criticism of your draft is you picked Lamar Jackson, which is great, fine pick. But to back him up with Deshaun Watson, who's not going to play this year, I thought was a waste of a pick. And now people are drafting 3 quarterbacks. So essentially, you did the quarterbacks what I almost did the running backs to say, oh, I hope people don't pick 3, and they did. So you're in the bottom of the barrel if something happens to Lamar. Now, maybe Cam Newton goes to Houston, and that's a viable option. But picking Deshaun Watson in the 10th round, the guy's not going to play. So that would be my criticism. Other than that, let's see. Ertz, I like Ertz still. Wait, are both your tight ends from Philly?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you got Philly with Jalen Hurts. All right, don't love that. That would be my 2 criticisms. Other than that, I love the first 2 picks. Actually, the first 5 picks. I think you may have had the first 5 picks as far as putting points on the board. Now, do they last all season? I'm not sure, but points on the board, your first 5 are solid.
All right. I kind of agree with you. And I will get to the Deshaun Watson thing in a minute. Raj?
Yeah, Rob kind of touched on it. Dalvin Cook and Najee Harris. Harris is a rookie. They tend to flame out, after, they're not playing 10, 11, 12-game seasons anymore. And he did share a lot of carries and a lot of talent with that at Alabama. So, I think he's going to fade. McLaurin catches a lot of balls. Thielen the same. Thielen usually averages about 5 TDs per year. He had 14 last year, but it's personal with him for me. He lets me down when I need him the most. McLaurin, had 4 TDs last year. Granted, he's a much better quarterback this year, but he also has Curtis Samuel, a much better receiving core. So I don't think he'll have the same amount of catches. 2 tight ends on the same team, even though that's the best the Eagles have the best 2 tight ends in the league, but to have that same strategy on your fantasy team is usually not a good thing. By the way, Jock Peterson hit a home run for the Braves against the Dodgers in LA. So it's 1-0 Atlanta.
And
Sorry.
And guys, jumping real quick to make a point on what Raj just said. People talk about talent around them. Najee Harris was running back for a Heisman Trophy, or actually the Heisman Trophy winner, and 3 first-round draft picks, spreading the defense out in college football, which spreads it out anyways. Like, we'll see. I think he's going to be a good pro, but those are all valid question marks that Raj just brought up.
Good. Yeah, I agree. All right, Shane.
Valid question marks for sure. But if you look at what the Steelers are trying to do with Mr. Old Man Ben, they are going to feed Najee the ball quite a bit. And I think that's a pretty good pick. I like Najee ahead of Chubb and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which Stu picked, pretty further down the draft. But Randall, yeah, your team's solid. You tend to always draft a solid team. You're always just right there, real close. There's always 1 or 2 things that go wrong for you, unfortunately. Your knowledge is there for sure, but let's say, we are playing fantasy and you've got unfortunate events that happen. But I actually like the Zach Moss pick late. I think probably would have took him before Watson, but somehow you still got him there. And I know we've heard reports of Deshaun possibly being traded to Miami here of late. So we'll see how that plays down. I'm like Robbie and Raj. I don't think he's going to play. So you might be looking for T. Lawrence or, somebody else on the waiver wire. But
All right.
I'm so excited to hear this Deshaun Watson explanation.
I took Deshaun Watson because I think he's out of Houston, and I think he will play. I think if he stays in Houston, he doesn't play.
Why do you think he'll
Also-
play somewhere else?
Yeah, I also was only going to draft 1 quarterback and 1 tight end. The reason I drafted Ertz is simply I don't expect to play Ertz, but Ertz is the most upside tight end I can have if Dallas Goedert gets hurt. So really, I only drafted 1 tight end. Deshaun Watson is a pure waste of a pick unless he plays. But I had no intention of drafting a backup quarterback. I have Deshaun Watson in every league that I have. Because if he does play, he's a league winner. So that was my thought. 10th round, I took a league winner.
Just what's your possible theory on how he's going to play?
I think he gets out of Houston, gets away from the Heat. He's not been.
Well, that's not Houston's not the issue. The NFL's the issue.
The Heat doesn't stay in Houston.
No. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Plays with Mr. Roger.
We also didn't think Zeke Elliott would play a couple of years ago, and he played the first 10 games of the year. I'm just saying.
It's way different.
If it's
A little different.
If it ends up being a 10th round pick, I cut. I don't care. But if he plays, he's a league winner. That was my only thought. So
Fair enough.
at that point, I was just like, when am I going to take him?
I was just starting to take running backs at that point.
Do what?
I was just starting to take running backs at that point.
I was kind of done with the draft and was like, okay, I'm going to. Now, the one thing I think I like about my draft that nobody mentioned is now that Mac Jones is the starter in New England, Jacoby Myers has a huge upside.
0 TDs, though.
Now that J.K. Dobbins is gone from Baltimore, Gus Edwards doesn't become their lead back. Lamar Jackson does. So I think what has broke with the draft since then Now, what I hate about I will be honest, what I really hate was Lamar Jackson. I had no intentions of taking Lamar Jackson. I panicked and took my Lamar Jackson because everybody started running quarterbacks, and Lamar Jackson was my last quarterback.
You're
that was
too
on a
good
tier.
to panic like that.
Lamar Jackson was my last quarterback on a tier, and my first quarterback on the next tier was Justin Herbert. And I was like, I really, 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 instead of Jackson, I really wanted to take J.K. Dobbins. And to be honest with you, Clipper kind of talked me out of taking Dobbins, took him the next pick. So,
A little gamesmanship.
yeah. I agree with John. I got a team good enough to get into the playoffs, but I got to do some work. If something happens to Lamar Jackson, I am dead in the water. So before week 1, I doubt Deshaun Watson is on my lineup. Well, I may carry him a couple weeks just to see if something breaks. But if you'll remember correctly, I'm the guy that drafted Zeke in the second round a couple of years ago when he was supposed to be suspended. I drafted somebody last year. I drafted Josh Gordon in a draft the other day.
I got Michael Thomas. He's coming back.
I would have drafted Michael Thomas in probably the round that you drafted him if you didn't draft him. I was planning on drafting Michael Thomas. All right. I think that's fair. I think everybody's about the same place.
Well, we got one more. We got Dave's to break down.
Oh, yeah. I'm not done. I just defended my own.
Okay.
I did take running backs before the 8th round, though. Silly me.
I thought Harris was a big reach. Myers, yeah. I think sometimes you try to find a gem because you do know a lot, and that can hurt you because I do the same. But, I don't like any Patriots. Harris, you never know who's going to score a TD. Yeah, Myers is up and coming. He didn't score a touchdown last year. I thought, who's the Williams there? I'm trying to focus in, but I'm having trouble.
Javonte. Denver.
Yeah, amazing back at North Carolina, but another guy that, he's going to share a lot of carries, and Denver's a total wild card. People are going to put 20 guys in the box, maybe too high. So just a lot of guys that I don't think are going to score a bunch. But some great picks.
I think I'll be all right. Maybe. All right. The one thing that Dave done early was I was hoping his Titan loving ass was going to take Derrick Henry so I could take Christian McCaffrey. So
there's no way, though. Yeah.
Last year I had McCaffrey and he didn't play half the season. So I thought God was going to give me a do-over. But I had the number 1 pick in a 2-quarterback league and still took McCaffrey over Patrick Mahomes. A 2-quarterback dynasty league. And I took McCaffrey. That's how much I think of CMC. And I love Justin Jefferson. Matter of fact, Justin Jefferson was a huge debate with me versus Najee. I think I even tore the Justin Jefferson sticker off at one point and put it back. I do not like the James Robinson pick. And everybody goes, well, ETN's gone. You don't draft ETN if you like James Robinson, if you're Urban Meyer. I don't see him getting the same workload that he did last year. And I also, Jonnu Smith as your only tight end, and I'm not sure he's the number 1 tight end in New England once week 4 rolls around. So that was I like his team, though. And he stole Kyler Murray from me. So I wanted Kyler Murray, too. So I think Dave's got a sleepy, good team. Now, coming back with Jalen Hurts in the 9th round didn't make a lot of sense to me, but I took Deshaun Watson the next round, so who cares? All right, Robbie.
Yeah, McCaffrey obviously is one of the best players in the league. That's easy. What I don't like what Dave did was you go James Robinson, Jacksonville. They're going to be terrible. You got Sanders in Philly, they're going to be terrible. Devontae Smith in Philly, they're going to be terrible. Kenny Galladay and the Giants, terrible. Hurts in Philly, they're going to be terrible. Like, there's just a lot of really bad players on really bad teams that he's got. Not bad players, sorry. Not bad players on bad teams. Good players on bad teams that I just don't like that look where you're going to be the focus on everyone's defense to shut you down every single. You need team players with teams with weapons to free you up. So, I will be willing to wager Blake and Dave's teams mirror each other the entire season. They'll have some good wins. They're just good players. They didn't look at the team. They didn't look at the schedule. They just checked off their little sheet. Just Dave and Blake. Hey, that's why you don't have multiple kids.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
That was cold. All right, Robbie. That's good. Raj.
Yeah, the first McCaffrey, I'm scared of him. When I had him, dude got hurt. And Jefferson, amazing. Robinson, I think ETN is more of a back that's, going to catch the football a little bit more of like a old school Eric Metcalf type dude. So I think he's going to get a lot of carries, but I see your point. Yeah, Miles Sanders, that guy killed me last year. But no, I think Devontae Smith, yeah, it's a terrible team, but we all saw what that dude can do. Wow. And, I've heard and read a lot as to some people think, he could be one of the best players in the league this coming year, meaning that in terms of a boom or bust, that if he booms, it's going to be a really loud boom. Jonnu Smith is only tight end, not good. There were much better players available after that. And, this could be a really good team. I think just like all of us, when I look at what guys were drafted after, it could have been much better picks. A.J. Dillon down there. I'm not a huge believer in that dude. I know Jones is backup, but Jalen Hurts. I just see a lot of dudes that, like I said, there could have been better picks at a number of spots, but it also could be a very good team if things go his way.
Jane.
Yeah, obviously, first two picks, can't go wrong there. I am actually a fan of the Miles Sanders pick. I think he's going to actually stay healthy and do a lot of checkdowns, which then coincides with Devontae Smith. Like, he might catch some of those short balls as well. I'm not sure about Kyler. We heard John's evaluation of him earlier. It's either 3 yards over or at your feet. But he's got the run factor there. When you look at the back half of the draft, receivers are struggling here. I love Dave. I think the first two picks were great, but after that, it kind of gets a little upside heavy on that. Galladay, I love him as a player. I think if he was on any other team except Dallas, he'd be one of the top 2 receivers on that team, not on Dallas, in my opinion. So that's my 2 cents.
Did we lose Raj?
We did.
I will say, I don't like the pairing of Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts because they bring 2 different things to the table. Like, I'm not sure they're gonna have 2 good. I guess they have.
I don't like Hurts. I don't like Hurts and Smith. I like Sanders and Smith. I think they're gonna do a lot of PPR
I don't know why Hurts was rated so high on most of these draft boards.
I have no clue. I was never a fan of Hurts. Yeah, his quarterbacks also are. Who is that at the bottom? Zach
Wilson, the guy from the Jets, I think, or the Niners, one of those two teams that I've complained about from the get-go. They shouldn't have drafted.
If I was Dave right now, I would get on the waiver wire. I would put $1 on Trevor Lawrence. Buddy, it's gonna play significant. I'm not a fan.
Still not got an EPB.
I thought we settled this weekend.
Randall, still no EPB.
Hey, real quick, I asked my boy Charlie Phillips, who's probably the best fantasy football player I know. The dude just knows his stuff and wins a lot of leagues. He said that our draft was interesting because several guys had the chance at their spot to knock it out of the park, but failed. He pretty much said all of us had done that, some more than others. No names, Robbie. He also said that he liked my team and he liked Lenny's team a lot for PPR, but he liked my Hopkins pick, but he didn't like Fant at all, he said. He let me know. And he doesn't like Gaskin, although I like Gaskin. So, Rand, I was just saying, one of my boys who's really good at fantasy football, CP, Charlie Phillips, he said that a number of us had the chance to just knock it out of the park at that spot and really take control of the league, and we pretty much all failed. But he likes my team and Lenny's team. So, PPR, that's what he said.
So your friend likes your team? That's weird.
It's not good because usually we blow each other up. Like, all we do is talk trash. So, it's not a good thing. Trust me.
Oh, just
my friend,
got another friend of
my
mine.
friend didn't like my team. All right, last question. Last question, and we'll call it a night. If you had, we got to do Bet Your Nuts, which I don't even have one.
I do.
If you had to go out on a limb and pick a final right now for our league, pick it. I'll go first.
Including ourselves or excluding ourselves?
Yeah, pick ourselves out.
Excluding ourselves.
Excluding ourselves.
Excluding ourselves. And I lost my draft board. All right, why don't you go? Rod, you go first.
Ooh. I think Lenny's got a real chance to be one of the top two picks. He had a chance to really crush the draft in his bottom like 5 or 6, but he didn't. But PPR, Diggs, Ridley, Lockett, Josh Allen, Kareem Hunt, those are guys that are going to do really well. So I really liked his team. Chain is another guy that, some guys are just amazing. If Tannehill does what they say he will, then I think he'll be there. But I'm probably going to go Lenny and who did I like? Whose team? I'm so torn. I see Dave and Geoff, Lenny, and Chain as probably the top 4. One of those guys will be there. Randall, your team could be great, but not a lot of TDs at those spots. So I'm kind of cheating. Those were my top 4.
All right, Robbie.
If all goes well, I think Stewart has a chance. And
I want to say Stewart has a chance, but is he going to stay engaged for the whole season? That's going to be his problem.
I mean, I'm saying if everything goes right, best case scenario, I think Stewart and Clay with the Mahomes, Kamara, Kittle combination. I think they're the. I mean, taking me out of it, obviously, I'm definitely going to win. But.
Okay. Yes. All right, Shane. Did you already go?
No.
Okay.
You can pick me, Shane. Don't be afraid.
Don't worry, I'm not. I'm going to have to go. I've got 4. Randall, Clifford, Geoff, and Lenny, I think are pretty solid there.
If Lenny wins again, I promise you I will quit.
Oh, he's not going to win. I mean, I couldn't put myself in there, so I had to say Lenny. It's the only
You
name
heard it here first. Robbie will quit.
Yes. I will be done. Who are yours, Randall?
Change that.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
I love Geoff's team. I put it this way. Clipper Clay was the winner to me until round 5 to Dobbins.
Can't.
And that changed it.
Which
Clipper
wasn't
really had a
definitely.
chance. Clipper really had a chance to knock it out of the park. And I think he has the best core. But overall, 1 through whatever we picked, I like Shane's team the best.
Well,
But if I was push come to shove, I think Clay doesn't have enough to get it done. So I'll go Chain versus Geoff in the finals. And and maybe it's because I'm like Robbie and I'm just hating on life. I really don't get Lenny's team being that good, but that may be me hating on life.
well, and I think it's as someone who's recently picked up and started learning chess, like the different outcomes you have based on what you move each piece. Like I get y'all think my team sucks. I think the beauty of our draft and beauty of our league is we all kind of get intoxicated and we all make blunders, and these blunders lead to who can win, who cannot win, and usually it's one pickup or one trade here or there that
It's all about high upside.
Yeah.
All right, one last question. I think that was the last one. One more. What would you change about your team if you could change it, Raj?
Ooh. Well, now that I look at it and hear all these things, pretty much everything, it's probably Mostert. Boomer bust. I don't love Noah Fant as my tight end, but I do like Gronk as his backup. So I'd go with Mostert, and hopefully Chris Carson stays alive.
Robbie, what round would you pick a running back if you could do it again?
So I am so stubborn and obsessive.
Yeah, no.
That's
That's what makes you a great attorney.
So I don't know if I will change. I'm okay with I am legit okay with my running backs. I don't need a 15-point running back. So I think I'm going to beat everyone on the perimeter. I've got to change one thing. I probably would have risked Thomas falling to round 7, and maybe gotten a Aaron Rodgers or a Justin Herbert or Russell Wilson, one of those quarterbacks instead of Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow is coming off injury. He's a bit of a wild card.
And Robbie, during the whole draft, kept saying 5 wide.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
Jane?
Again, I'll reiterate my own criticism on Sermon. Yeah, it was a little bit of a reach. I didn't think he'd make it back to me. And it kind of coincides with Raj and Mostert. So, those two are a toss-up. When they're both on the field, they're dynamic. Obviously, Mostert gets the nod there. So, yeah, I mean, he's a bit of a wild card upside, but I've got 2 starting running backs, and I felt really good about my first 5 picks as far as filling the 2 starters in the flex play. So that's, kind of looking why I went there. So, but yeah, it's a bit of a regret.
Nobody killed me for it, but really what I've been killing myself over is I have 2 wide receivers. And then everybody else is a projection. I projected Antonio Brown would be better in Tampa.
Myers.
I'm projecting Sammy Watkins will be part of the offense in Baltimore.
Wow,
Baltimore.
that's horrible.
I'm
Baltimore
projecting-
receivers.
I'm projecting. I'm everybody other than my top two receivers is a project. I got another receiver besides that. Who have I got?
Walking.
Oh yeah, hey, you may now that I'm looking
He's got
at
some really high upside though.
you may be in Waffle House.
Oh no,
Hey,
Jacoby Myers.
I love your third wide receiver high upside. I mean, you can
I do.
you
Everybody I
can
have at
interchange
wide
Brown and
receiver,
Myers. I really like that.
they could all be on the waiver wire in week 2, or I could have a superstar.
Sure.
So
I don't think
Or
you can
they
ever
all
trust New England receivers or Baltimore receivers, and you got a ton of those. Real quick on Clay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, I mean, I did draft Sammy Watkins for a reason. I mean, I did want to pair somebody with
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson,
Right.
and everybody else was gone, so that was my
Dude,
one
it
guy.
could be like your week 1 or week 2 winner. Like typically in KC, he came out on fire like the first week or two, and then he was just fantasy irrelevant after that.
But I strongly disagree with the New England wide receivers now that Matt Jones has won the job. I think that is a very pass-happy offense now.
Oh,
I think you could see
Belichick
big
didn't control the ball.
Yep.
I think Mac Jones may throw for the most. It's hard to say because Trevor Lawrence is going to throw it 8,000 times.
Oh no, I don't know, not that easy.
Just spread it out amongst like 10 guys in New England. I think Belichick knows we all love fantasy, and he likes to F with us all. Because anytime I've relied upon a New England player, they've failed me.
I think Mac Jones' setup in New England, like with Belichick, is going to be perfect. It's going to be that same kind of Tom Brady, bubble screen, slant route, dink dunk. And that's going to really warm up Mac Jones to the NFL. And I
don't want to say crazy things, but not yet. But we may have to start talking about, did Brady make Belichick?
No. They're two separate entities that just
they just had a divorce, and guess which one just got laid by the hottest person?
Well, it was Belichick year 1.
It's very true.
Brady year 1.
If I'm Tom Brady, I'm throwing my feet on that table and being like, yeah, you will sit on the other side of the desk for me.
The first girl that Belichick went out with was ugly Cam Newton. So let's give him a redo. Let's see how he does. All right. So at the end of the show, damn it, I agree with Robbie on Brady. That's funny. G, I'll finally agree with you. Bet your nuts. Who's got bet your nuts? Anybody got bet your nuts? Because I don't. Robbie, you always have a great one prepared. Let's start there.
I'll tell you what. All right, so who's got the spread for Georgia Clemson this weekend? Even got a handy?
I am pulling up the spreads right now.
Working on it right now.
I'll pick one side of that game.
I think it's Georgia plus or -3.
Georgia -3?
I want to verify that. I think Georgia 3-point favorite. Yes.
I'll take Clemson.
Clemson's -3 actually.
Okay, I'll take Georgia.
You'll take Georgia.
Whoever's got the points, I'll take the points.
Whoever's the underdog.
All right.
No, I'm almost done.
Raj.
I'm almost done.
That's my daughter. My wife's
We got 3 more sections to go.
Me and my.
You are an hour behind, so why don't we let Shane go if he's got to get off with the little one because
That's
daughters
fine.
are the priority.
I'm gonna go Clemson here. I know we talked about Georgia maybe pulling something off, but I like Clemson on the bet your nuts. Yeah, -3.
All right, Raj.
I got a few. Last week I said the Dodgers would win this series in San Diego, and they swept. This week I'm tempted. Right now they're playing the Braves. Real quick note on the Braves. Are they better without Acuna Jr.? No, they're not a better team. He's amazing. Are they playing better right now than before? I think so. And guys have to step up. And, when Duvall's hitting, Soler, when those guys are all hitting, they're a scary team. And they went after those guys because Acuna got hurt. So obviously they're not better without the top 3 player in the game. But I was going to say the Dodgers win the series against Atlanta. It's kind of cheating because they already won last night. Right now it's 2-1 Atlanta. Jock Peterson went yard, but the Dodgers have first and second with 1 out in the 4th. The other one I'd say is USC is a 14-point favorite against a damn good San Jose State team that returns a lot. I don't trust Clay Helton ever. So, just missed a dinger. So I will go Dodgers win this series, and I'm going San Jose State. And then I think Oregon's going to crush Fresno State to 20.5.
Brandon, what's the line? Do you have the line for Bowling Green on Thursday?
Minus 30.
That's going to be my bet your nuts here.
Okay.
So, not the Balls. The Balls
35
are
and a half,
35.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
35.5. But the total is 61. So give me that game to go over because I think Tennessee's scoring in the 50s.
Fair enough.
So over 61. Give me the Balls. I forgot it was football season. I got lots of bet your nuts. Now,
I do.
the most obvious one on the board you all missed, De'Aaron King running his mouth about how Miami wants Alabama is a 19-point dog to Alabama.
Oh, I like
Give me
the U on that
Alabama
game.
to about 42-7.
Oh, no. I like the U.
I think King
I think
could
the
get.
U gets you.
I think the King could get slaughtered against that team. Anybody like UCLA against LSU? LSU's a 3-point favorite in Pasadena. I don't know if they'll have more than 100 people there because it's UCLA. 99% LSU fans. Anybody think UCLA can pull that off? Because they can run the ball.
It'll be 50,000 people in the stands. This can be like you said, 40,000 LSU fans.
LSU.
About
Think they
USC.
can cover the 3?
No.
I think LSU rolls.
What about USC San Jose State here? Over 59.5. I kind of like that one right there.
I agree with that.
They're minus 14.
I like the over under.
I like that one. I'm trying to find out if I can find another. Let's see here. I'll give you Ohio State minus 14 versus Minnesota.
I wasn't going to say it, obviously.
At Minnesota.
Didn't want to be a home
I agree.
run. Yeah.
I like. This one's a tough one, but I like Texas laying 8 to Louisiana Lafayette. That number seems. I know Lafayette went 9-1 last year, but they only. There were no out of conference games. They went 9-1 against people in that conference. So I think Texas and Stark's debut rolls it up on Lafayette.
I got another one. Oklahoma over Tulane, minus 27.5. I think they'll cover that.
Yeah, I think they'll beat them by 50. That's a great bet. Do you guys think Bowling Green can cover the 35 against Tennessee? Because Tennessee has shown an inability to put away really crummy teams early, but new coach, we'll see.
You can't bet on anything other than Tennessee is got a crap defense and a pretty good offense. And Bowling Green has got a crap defense and a pretty good offense. I really think this could be ugly. I think it could be like a 49-17 game,
I like where you're at, though, going with the over as far as trying to hit that 35.5.
Yeah, at 35.5 is big.
I would lean towards that.
Tennessee wins 56-21 and loses the cover.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Yep. I agree.
Penn State, Wisconsin, at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's 5.5. Suddenly Penn State is ranked. They had a lot of injuries. They got some good transfers. 5.5 seems low, doesn't it?
Wisconsin at Penn State or Penn State at Wisconsin? Which one was it?
At Wisconsin. It's at Camp Randall.
Oh, give me the home team.
Give me
Yeah, that's
Wisconsin all day. I think Penn State is overrated, to be honest.
I gotta admit,
I agree.
I missed this one. Geoff just put up because it's neither Baylor minus 13.5 over Texas State.
Oh yeah, it's a good
I kind
one.
of like that one.
Whoa, why
I
is
agree.
that sneaky low though?
Do what?
Why is
Yeah.
that sneaky low?
It is sneaky low. That's what bothers me. Baylor's probably worse than we. Baylor's not as good as we think.
Is there an injury that we
Texas
don't
State
know
was
about?
kind of good last year. So, all right. Final words. Start with not this Thursday, but next Thursday. What we're going to do is kind of build a show around Shane, and I think Robbie's going to be involved, and Raj is going to be involved, and I'm going to be involved. But really, it's going to be a rotating cast. College football talk on Thursday nights. It will follow another show to be announced, but you excited about it, Shane?
I am, man. Looking forward to it. Definitely focus, or not solely, but mostly on college football. But there might be some NFL talk there dabbled in, possibly some fantasy thrown in there as well. So we'll have to get updates on where we sit standing wise in our fantasy league. Keep everyone updated.
Yeah. Robbie, now you are going to join Shane when available, right, on Thursday nights?
Yes, I will try to. Let me just say, thank you, Randall, for starting this, and I'm having a blast. I can only speak for myself, and I look forward to being a bigger part of this network and this company, what you're creating and what we can be a part of. And so anytime I'm available, I will definitely jump on. And I'm looking forward to college football with Brandon on Thursday nights, and obviously keeping up with 3Rs on Tuesday nights. I'm excited. And we've made it through the dog days of summer, and
Yes.
now football season is upon us. And what generally the world wants, or not, maybe at least America wants to talk about, what we want to talk about is football. And so I'm looking forward to it. And then basketball rolls into it. So it's going to be an exciting next 9 to 10 months.
I'm excited about having a show on the network and not seeing my ugly face on it. That really seems like the next step into building a network, is not to have this face on it. So I'm looking forward to that.
You could just sit back and critique us and tell us what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
You know what? I swear I'm more nervous about, and I'm going to do like the first one with Brandon, first couple with y'all, but I'm more nervous about, I think I'm just going to have to get away from it and not watch it till later, because I'll be like, Gio, I'll be, hey.
Yeah.
Just what you need to do is just wait till you have to respond to the FCC violations, and then be like, okay, let me go back.
Yeah, I got a full-time job.
We'll all just put up a kitty for it to just start out, and then you just that's where we're at.
RiverCity-Media shirts. Yeah. Geoff, you've been great. I wasn't making fun of you, man. You've been perfect. Thank you for being a guest. Now, also, Geoff and Arden has an NFL show on Sunday morning. They have in development too.
Nice.
So, Geoff, I am so thankful you were here, man. I just poking at you a little bit, buddy. Actually, I don't think I can type that well. So, but they're working on a format yet to be named. I think it's going to be DFS though, mainly. All right, Raj, throw it out. Final words.
Final words. I echo what Robbie said. Randall puts his heart and soul into this. As someone who can personally attest to this, if anybody's in need, Randall's there, and I thank him for that. He's a great friend and somebody we actually look up to. Don't tell him because his head's pretty damn big already.
Shit. Hold on, let me
But
pull this hat off. So
yeah, it's a giant melon right there. Yeah,
yes, it is.
everything's about to get great, man. Fantasy, college football, baseball is coming down the stretch. I look forward to
NASCAR
coming
playoffs.
on Change Show. Yeah, NASCAR playoffs, WNBA. I look forward to sometimes being on Change Show. I don't think people want to hear me interrupt and talk as much as I do. Plus,
Absolutely.
I have a better time, and I think I'm better when I'm boozing. So 2 nights a week. Sad thing to say, and I say that in jest, but 2 nights a week may hurt. But really, I love baseball. It's about to get dang good, and thank God for college football.
Yeah, and maybe next year, as we grow, and I'm not ready to announce it yet, but we do have something in the work to get us into 20 million homes. Maybe at some point we'll have a baseball-only show. You know, maybe 30 minutes or something.
Wow.
So,
That'd be awesome.
but I'm ready to go to bed, and we will be so for sure. We have the approved date at Buffalo Wild Wings. The approved date that I've gave them right now is the week of September the 25th. But I need you guys to make sure that doesn't conflict with everything. And Shane, I need to know you can work that out. So
Saturday.
Tuesday. It'll be our regular show, man.
Hey, it's Blakey Boy's birthday. It's Sarah's birthday. It's my
It's
sister.
September 25th on a Tuesday. I thought you meant that Saturday.
It's Saturday.
No, it's the Tuesday. It's like the 27th. It's the week of the.
Well,
Heck.
okay. What day are we talking?
My wife's birthday's on the 23rd, so if I can.
I mean, it's 9 months after January and winter climates where everybody's doing
Is
it.
it the 28th?
Tons of people have birthdays. in
No, I think
September.
I said it wrong.
Very true, Raj.
I think I said it wrong. Hold on.
I think you meant Change Shows on a Tuesday in August 25th, or no, that's a
What
Wednesday.
day's your
But
wife's birthday, Shane?
It is September the 23rd. That's a Thursday.
Yeah, we're looking at September the 21st.
Okay.
21st. All right.
And I gave them the alternate date of September the 28th if we couldn't make
September
it.
21st is a Tuesday.
Correct.
Yeah, you're looking
it's
at
a normal show.
Oh, well, I'm going to be in Florida. Can I come remotely?
Yeah, you can, but I would rather you be there. How are you on the 28th?
Is this at Buffalo Wild Wings?
Yes.
It's going to be on a
28th,
Tuesday.
I'm good.
I
You know,
better
you always
take
got to
Wednesday.
plan around my Florida schedule. Come on now. It's half Tennessee, half Florida.
Do what, Raj? Yeah, that's fine. 28th's fine with me. Y'all.
That's the last I can do. I'll leave for Hawaii the following week. I can't do
God
that.
damn, Brandon's always on vacation.
All right. Tentatively the 28th, and we're getting off.
Look at you. You have to work around my Florida schedule. Blah blah blah.
Hey, real quick,
Good
I
night,
hope
Gracie.
Oscar. Sorry to kill the Braves fans. I hope Oscar Albies is okay. He just fouled a ball like off the side of his knee, left side. He's down right now, so hopefully he'll be okay. But sorry to freak you guys out. I'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I will take the day after off. So
Yeah.
adios.
I'll
getting up.
pay our FCC
The
fine.
29th is going to be an optional work day.
Uh-oh.
All right, for everybody, good night, Gracie. We'll see y'all down the road.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.